What is up? Welcome back. We are playing as Syria here in Victoria 3. Last episode, we kind of got a little bit more land in the Arabian Peninsula. Our overall goal is to form Arabia. We do have to annex Bahrain, and then maybe we can join Russia's market. This is kind of a bit of a long-term goal. We left off, and I actually, in the interim, changed which law we were passing. We were trying to pass appointed bureaucrats, but I just switched to open borders, and this game has kind of confirmed something that I have long suspected, which is that migration is not just international migration, but intra, as in your nation migration, your migration laws affect. Because if we take a look, the only place that has decent standard of living is where we're building tall. It's kind of okay in other areas that we have incorporated our main Syrian states, but Aleppo is really where it's high, and if you take a look, you'll see that the standard of living is 16.9, which we actually would want this to be lower in our SOL to be higher in other places. The reason we want this to be lower is we want wages to be cheaper, because as wages get cheaper, all these buildings get more profitable. So not only can the buildings not fully employ, they're also not crazy like profitable. You know, they're not in like the 40s or the 50s in terms of, you know, this number. And so they are paying decent wage, though, so that's something. So what we will be trying to do is pass no migration controls. This one will be very important. Luckily, we kind of have, finally, you know, the Industrialists in government, and I think this is probably the most important law to pass through them. Hopefully the Free Trade Party can win an election, or the Liberal Party can win an election, because we keep getting the Conservative Party winning, but this is okay, just a little bit of growing pains. Last episode, another thing we did was we got the market liberal landowner through the Corn Laws event chain, which is pretty important because it allowed us to very, very comfortably pass laissez-faire and free trade, which are important laws. Let's take a little bit of an unpause and then continue to look at the situation. So we are hyper reputable. Actually, we want to take a pause then. I think we also built up a little bit, yeah, so we're building a tooling workshop here, a furniture manufacturer here. We're building up a little bit of stuff kind of everywhere else that is not in the capital, because there are a lot of peasants everywhere else, and they cannot migrate to the capital because we have no migration controls, at least at this juncture. But we do want to declare war. The problem is, and this has been for the entire run, in terms of the strategic region map mode, if we declare war in Arabia, other countries will join, they'll dogpile on us. This is not very comfortable. Specifically, Austria really likes to... So we want to go and annex Bahrain here, right? The problem is Austria, so we go to this, Austria is going to side with the enemy. So what we could do is we could save and see if we can get someone who could beat up Austria to join on our side. This is one thing we could do. We could also just not do this war for a little bit, but we want to annex Bahrain pretty badly, because it seems to be the case that if you have a subject, you cannot join someone's customs union. But once you're in someone's custom union, you can get, you can become their subject, so, or you can acquire vassals while you are in someone's custom union, but when you are in your own, while you have your own market, it seems that you, in this case, we have the Syrian market, of which Bahrain is a member, it seems you cannot join another customs union, so if you have a subject, you can't join someone else's, or something like this, but, or maybe it's only protectorates, I don't know exactly how this works. I believe it is, if you have a vassal, you can't join someone else's market, but when you're in someone else's market, you can acquire vassals. Yeah, so it seems that this is breaking us from joining Russia's market, but we cannot, we cannot declare this war, because Austria will have a front here, and they'll be able to push into us. Now, if we declared war to, like, let's say, conquer Mahara, they also would join. But the thing is Austria would have to land us, even if Austria joins. Because here, they would have a front with us already. But with Mahara, they don't have a front with us, because this is impassable terrain. So we would land them, conquer them, and then Austria would have to, like, land our capital or whatever. So, I'm going to take a look. Does Great Britain like us? They're cordial and cautious, which is not the best, but we are considering puppeting... Oh, we can't puppet Chile, because our status is not high enough. Can we puppet Uruguay? No, we can't. We could do these guys. And no one will be able to get a front. I don't think Great Britain joins. If Great Britain joins, we could probably still fight them anyways, because they will have to land us, because no one can get to a front except for Brazil. And I think that we could probably just conquer, but we could just go for vassal instead. This seems like a pretty... not the most productive war. Man, finding productive wars is tough. Where is our declared interest? It's in Japan. We do want to keep settling Hokkaido, so we will leave it there. Was a little tempted to move it to, you know, Indonesia and start annexing some people over there. Western Australia broken free. That's an interesting one. I guess we'll take it unpaused and just be sensitive to the fact that we are not losing any infamy and we do want to declare a war. I guess we could go after... we could go after Trebizond, which will give us a lot of infamy, but notably Austria cannot join here. And then maybe we get Russia on our side. Okay, Russia can invite us. What is this? We cannot click join customs union. So maybe this is a bug. I think this must be a bug, because it thinks that we're in a customs union. And I assume they think we're in a customs union that's not our own customs union, which is why we have this like tooltip at the bottom. Syria is not part of a customs union. Would really love to be able to skip. There we go. Syria is not part of a customs union, so it must just think we're part of our own customs union, but somehow they can invite us. We actually want to be inside their customs union, and then pass no migration, and then try and push our standard of living higher than theirs and siphon off pops. We are just getting to the point where our standard of living is a little higher than Russia's, if I'm not mistaken. And we are doing a huge volume of trade with them, and all we have to do to get out of their customs union is get unfriendly with them. Here, if we go here, they're impoverished, and we're just slightly bit better, but we know how to manage it so that we'll become a lot of bit better and siphon off a lot of pops from them. So we will click the yes button. And now, us not being able to go to Bahrain is not too big a deal. We are in their market. I don't remember if they offered us the obligation, but look at this, just all of a sudden crank up. This is because basically all of our inputs, or... so when the market's a lot of plus 75 and minus 75, it's really inefficient, right? And what being inside someone else's market usually does is it makes your consumer goods sell a lot better. Your other goods, like, it just makes everything more profitable, generally speaking. Although a lot of these have to auto-adjust, and now there's shortages of coal. So I guess we'll have to import coal, or someone will have to import coal. But we'll let Russia worry about that. And we also have a lot of bureaucracy. I think being inside their market will be a good thing, mainly because we can siphon off their pops. They have a lot of pops, a lot more than we do. They have 63 million, we have 4 million. And so as long as we can crank the standard of living up and get no migration controls, we will become in good shape. Wow, Two Sicilies becomes a protectorate of Austria. That is interesting. That doesn't happen very often. And Russia has an interest in La Plata. Maybe they do that because they just auto get it because we have an interest there or something? Not sure exactly. But we're kind of cruising now in pretty good shape. Once we get the no migration controls, we will be in very good shape, and we should be able to, you know, get all these fully employed, which will be nice. Right now, it's got high migration attraction, but it could be higher, which is kind of the goal. Okay. Also, just a quick note, you generally... running debt is more... it hurts a lot more when you're an unrecognized country, and also when you are small, because you don't get as good rates on the loans. And so, while deficit spending is really good, if you're a great power, major power, this type of thing, it's not as good when you're an unrecognized or small power, which is what we are. And so, we are trying to get out of the debt here before we expand construction, rather than the other way around. Although it looks like we are bringing up the investment pool, a lot of our stuff just became a lot more profitable. So actually we will add one thing at construction now that we're in Russia's market. Very fortuitous they invited us. We do love to see that. And what are you? You're having a problem with silk. Okay, fair enough. And you're having a problem with engines. Got it. Engine thing just needs to employ more is the thing. But I do think we can continue to expand the silk a little bit. And we'll do rail transport here specifically because, man, oh man, is labor, labor is expensive here and it's scarce here because we don't have people migrating here because we have, like, migration controls. And so once we lift those, it'll be good, but until then, we will try and expand. Oh, these aren't even employed. Okay. We're running a shortage and they're not even employed. That's not ideal. I think part of it's we turned on the railroads and that's just, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. We don't, can't support the railroads either. So now our investment pool is draining a little bit, but we can still support a little bit more construction. So I guess we'll just, we won't fix our deficit for just a little bit because we're just trying to creep towards an equilibrium where we're slightly making money. We want to be in like the bottom 20% here, but also be running a surplus. It's kind of where we want to hang out as an unrecognized, relatively smaller power. If Great Britain starts liking us, you know, I think we can fight the Ottomans a little bit more. We really want to release Iraq and then puppet Iraq. This is kind of what we want to be doing. Maybe we shouldn't have joined their market, but I think it's good. I'm gonna take that, but that's kind of uncomfortable. We really want to open migration up. It will make all of our buildings way, way more profitable. We also want to stop building, you know, manufacturing here. The big reason we are doing it is because we're trying to abuse the fact that we encourage manufacturing there and also the economies of scale. But we can't really do that while we have no migration controls. We're just going to stick this on Quinine and then look around to see if we want to do something else, because Quinine is relatively good. I think we're going to go intensive agriculture. We have a relatively large amount of agriculture anyways, and this leads into nitroglycerin, and so going this into nitroglycerin, by then maybe we'll be able to go for the tier 3 techs with no malice, and so this will be good. Speaking of tier 3 techs, I think we want the trade, well, let's get the trade unions up a little bit. And then we're going to add a university as well here. We're going to put it at the back of the queue. We are running a slight bit of negative authority, but this is okay. It does create Oppo group disapproval, but it's fine for us for now. We do want to find a war. So Russia does have an interest in Arabia now, so they are likely to help us because we're inside their customs union. Weird that bug. I mean, I would have rather joined their market a little bit later, but once we get no migration controls. Peru, Bolivia becomes the protectorate of France. Interesting. Such a large amount of infamy for that. We will swap over the PMs here. These manufactories should be really profitable, the ones in areas not the capital. Even though the throughput bonus is really small, the fact that they can reach full employment with relatively inexpensive wages is a big deal. Really hoping to not eat, trade unions do become powerful, and they're loyal with us with +10. This is very nice. They're also going to join a political group. I assume they joined the Liberal Party, which will be quite nice as well. But their bonuses are probably the best in the game. They give, let's see, throughput bonus, an increased workforce ratio, which is a equilibrium, so it'll trend towards the higher workforce ratio, but this is both really powerful for us. Alright, so we'll just take the big minus enactment chance and then come off of it. Bit unfortunate, but we have other stuff we want to pass, and so this is not the worst. We will go for elected bureaucrats for now. I think we want to go after Mahara. Okay, so we're going to take a save first. We've been doing this for quite a while, just in case things just go absolutely crazy. You know, if it is us and Russia versus Austria, this is pretty comfortable. We could do this, but we don't know if it's going to be that, but it's a bit of a crapshoot, because you're just, and I mean crapshoot, it's like rolling dice into oblivion, because we have no idea which countries are going to join against us, and, you know, exactly how this shakes out. There's just so many countries, the Ottomans, Russia, UK, who's like cautious towards us, France, you know, over here. We can fight this 1v1, so we will just leave it as is. I think they should be minus 75 fearful. So they're likely to just back down if nothing happens, but we will keep an eye, and we see Austria joins it. So now we want to have someone of our own join. I think that, well, So if we get Russia to join, there will actually be a front with Austria, so then we could enforce stuff on Austria. If we get France to join, there will be no front. Well, let's see what Russia wants. They want an obligation. We do not want to give Russia an obligation, because then they will make us a protectorate or force us to not honor the obligation. And France also wants an obligation, but we can't give it to them. So this is what I'm talking about here. Now, let's see what war goals Austria asked for on us. So it looks like there are no war goals. So as long as we conquer Mahara, we can just capitulate to Austria. So we might just try and take this fight by ourselves. We'll recruit... I mean, I guess this guy is a little bit better. I don't know. We're probably going to fire either one of those. We don't want to give the excess clout to the landowners. Austria's damaging relations, a little bit unfortunate. So here's the thing. Yeah, no, we can't get either of these guys to join. France, we already owe an obligation. We can't afford to give an obligation to Russia, because otherwise they will make us a protectorate. And so... you know, we just won't get enough from calling Russia in, so the name of the game is going to be just landing this guy and hoping that we can fight this ourselves. And if not, I suppose we could take the reload. We might just also accept the pain. We will go. We do have to wait for this war to pop, but then we'll navally invade with Avind al. And we will leave the bigger stack guy to defend. Russia is going into the kebab, which we would have been happy to be a part of, but this is fine. And we are now running a little bit of a surplus, so what we will do is we will expand construction. I think we will expand the construction center. We'll do one here, up to level 8, and then I think we want to put one in Syria. The labor will be much cheaper in Syria. The building resources won't be. Here, let's build some logging out here, because labor is going to be cheap here. And just kind of look at the SOL and try and build where the SOL is relatively low, because that means labor is going to be cheap there. And not build in the capital too much until we finish. This is on auto expand, but we will just put it up 2 levels ourselves. And we're gonna try avoiding building in the capital until we get what's called no migration controls. Red tape. Alright, we're going to take this, and then we're going to come off this, and try and do a different one. Appointed bureaucrats would be just fine, but I think we could find something that's a little bit better. Private schools will be relatively good. Public schools would be much better earlier on, but we're going to do private schools because they're better in the long term, and sometimes it's hard to swap from public to private. we fail our naval landing, it looks like. You can see exactly how that went. Oh, we succeeded it. Wait, what? Why are they at 10? They're 100% occupied, but why can we land? Were you landing this little? Oh, they have 2 provinces. Is that it? No, it's all the same thing. Do they have a land access here? Wow, that's wild. That makes this state very interesting. I don't know why we can land again. But we're going to enforce on them and then just capitulate to Austria, and then we'll be okay. So. But now, we can only declare this type of war as long as we don't have a front. So, for example, if you declare a war on Oman now, and Mahara gets pulled in, there will be a front here, so Austria can pile 300 battalions on this front, and so we'll just get wrecked. So we could declare war here, for example, because we have no front, but that'll be the last place we can just kind of annex with no front type of thing. Yeah, look, the standard of living is just shooting up. And then the war ends because we just auto-capitulate. I think that's a new feature where you just auto-capitulate if there's no more war goals to enforce. And Austria stops damaging relations, and we will go for the incorporation here. We will also look to build a little bit of a couple buildings to try and... I don't like this. I guess we were fine with them being cargo ports. Yeah, I still just overbuilds these ports. It's really annoying. Not subsidizing anything. I guess we'll take a look at the PMs to make sure your PMs are where we want them. Yeah, we still have a lot of early game PMs. I think we could switch to hardwood and fishing trawlers everywhere. Making quite a bit of money. I think we will. So we're likely to keep building up in Palestine, so we're going to build a construction center in there. And we're likely to keep constructing here, so we're going to build a construction center in there. Where they have cheaper labor and such, instead of continuing to build the construction centers up in the capital here. That is auto-building the textiles in the capital. But let's see, we were just at war. We now have a truce with Austria. So now... we could expand a little bit more with some degree of impunity. We can't do a Diplo play against Oman. Not sure why. Do we have a truce with you guys? Why can't we start a Diplo play? Oh, are they a subject? No, they're not a subject. That's weird. But we're going to look to go after these guys now. And I think we will... we have no infamy, so we might as well just conquer them, because I don't think we're going to acquire a lot of infamy. It does take less... well, we only have to vassalize them. Actually, I kind of like vassalizing. Because we can... vassalizing is most flexible, although I think we will lose 5 infamy in the duration of this war, so we would actually want to find a higher infamy war to declare first. Like puppeting them, but we can't puppet them. Liberate subject would be no infamy. Russia would side with us here, likely, if we're taking something from them. I mean, I don't mind taking Trabzon. Taking Adana would also be nice. This also... I don't think we can 1v1 Egypt, though, and I don't think we can give Russia anything that they would want, other than an obligation, which we can't afford to give them. So it might just be conquer this state here. And just continue to expand in the Arabian Peninsula. Because currently we have a truce with Austria, so they can't join against us. So let's do it. And we did not save before this, so we are just hoping we don't get absolutely wrecked by someone joining. Looks like now we can sway Austria for whatever reason. And we mobilize because we're really hoping they back down. Take the minus on enactment time. What the hell? Why is Russia siding with them? Well, so this will instantly kick us into negative relations, so we're going to get kicked out. But we're going to offer Austria an obligation to join. This is insane, though. They do not have a strategic reason for doing this. It's going to boot us from their market. God. This is what I'm talking about, with it being so volatile in terms of who joins and stuff. I think we just have to take a load, because we actually just want, like, we want to be in Russia's market. Russia shouldn't be doing this. It's, like, so unpredictable. We're just going to take a load. Really unfortunate. Like, if you're playing on Iron Man for this type of run, it's just... Arabia is just absolute cancer. It really just feels... Yeah, you just... Playing in Arabia is, like, very, very not fun. So we can't... I mean, we could go up to Lahej, even if Russia joins against us. Economy is doing great, though. We're expanding construction quite a bit here, but... But they'll join us against the Ottomans. Like, it's just... none of it makes any sense. We actually, like, will also get clapped if Russia joins against us, because they just have a front with us, so we can't do the abusing a front thing. We'll just do that. There we go. Getting some construction in. Notably, it is not in the capital. Although, I think the construction sectors pay the normal wage, not the wage in the place. So... they all pay the same wage. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can go for, like... Ankara, and then get... Well, no, Russia won't help us for free. We would have to give them an obligation. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's chill and expand. The economy's exploding right now. So, you know, we can kind of just do this chill route. We will add construction centers in a couple places, continue to add them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we should try for a different war, but it's just very frustrating, the randomness of all this. Because, like, Russia is genial, they're amicable, and just, like, Arabia as a strategic region is just an absolute hellhole to expand in, because we have... Okay, of the people who we cannot fight against ourselves, we have 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people who we just can't fight against by ourselves. And so, but we can fight every single person who we would potentially go to war with. you know, we can fight everyone on this peninsula, we can't fight Egypt. And so it creates this situation that's like kind of frustrating to expand into, which is why we at the start just expanded into Anatolia. And now I think if the Ottomans declare war on us, Russia should come and help us. And so I think we're safe now from the Ottomans, which is why we don't feel the need to declare war on them, just to make sure that we have a truce. But other than this, it's... I don't know. We'll add another construction center there, and there. And then add one of these. Yep, all hands needed for the future. We will also check. I think we should be running we're running no problems in any of that. Egypt begins embargoing the kebab. I think we also have a port here. It's not fully employed. I think we build a wheat farm here and put it on auto expand, and we get private schools, which is nice. Ottomans rival us. That's crazy that we are eligible. Russia took on Bahrain's debt, so we should just annex Bahrain now. Why can't we start a diplo play against them? Ah, because they are considered a Russian subject and our subject? That is interesting. Well, it won't matter when we form Arabia, we'll get everything, but... I'm kind of tempted to go after Trugal states, but then we have to fight the British, who kind of like us. Oh, and they're genial cordial? So this means we can mess around here, even though the British have the Falkland Islands, which gives them a native interest in La Plata. But we can't puppet Chile, which is kind of the war goal we would want to use. We have a truce. Wait, why can't we annex them? Can we just never annex anyone while we're inside the Russian market? Yeah, this is the case. Okay, so maybe we want to be in the Russian market for now, but we just want to keep in mind we can't annex people out of it. We'd love to subjugate Oman. But we can't. Love to fight this guy, but we can't because Russia doesn't like that. I mean, we could expand the military. Try and have a bigger stick. It's probably not terrible. I think I like just continuing to expand construction. All of this is being paid on... Ooh. So we have to keep in mind, the amount of money we're making is this number plus this number. The investment pool is draining. So we will not expand construction anymore, and we will run a deficit for a little while. But this is what's making it so we can pay for all this, which is all our capitalist buildings being profitable. It is nice not having to build. And there, the investment pool is finally drained, so now we're losing money. But we have 1.1 million gold reserves, so we're going to sit on that for a while. But now, I was talking about going nitroglycerin. I think we do go nitroglycerin. But, we want to keep an eye for going mutual fund steel frame, kind of in the nearest future. But we're going to go nitroglycerin for now, because I think it's a little bit better. Ugh. It's hard out here to expand. I think we're also going to add a couple levels in the naval base. And the shipyards, you're having trouble, lack of engines. more than happy for the conservatives to do poorly. I think we can barely try and pass opening the borders. So we could just do migration controls. It looks like it would be a lot easier for us to get in. And this makes it so discriminated pops can't migrate, but we can just lower all the discrimination as well. Eventually. But all our people can, it'll solve a lot of the problems in the short term, and this one's much easier to get through. Looks like the Free Trade Party's gonna win here too, which is kind of okay. It is the Landowners and the Industrialists, so I guess the Industrialists jump ship to the Free Trade Party from the Conservative Party. We're not going to reform the government now, but we will later. Yeah, this should be going pretty vertical now. We will want to expand the universities quite a bit here. Why don't we see what we have in terms of journal entries, central archives, branching out, steam engine. Alright. It's crazy that Russia joins against us if we declare on these guys. Also just end the customs union and start importing and exporting from them. Well, I think, Russia helps us out against these guys, right? So we can just take a save and say, hey, we want Trabzon, right? Trabzon's a relatively good state. And then try and release Iraq again, but they probably don't do that. But we can just take Trabzon, and this will give us a little bit... Oh, this will give us less infamy than it was before, because it looks like the Ottomans have decayed from being a major power to unrecognized, so their event chain has fired in a way that's poor for them. So we'll go after Trabzon, and we will try and get Russia to side with us. I'm hoping that there is a war goal we can offer that is not an obligation. If there isn't, we might just leave their market and owe them an obligation. How much stronger is their military than ours, actually? They have 611. I think we have like 123. We have 180. Yeah, so we're not close. If we were close, we could just expand the military ourselves, but we will either need Russia or we will need to back down. And we're just seeing if Russia will take anything. They will take some stuff. So we can offer Conquer State. They will take Ankara, which is kind of weird because it's landlocked in here. And that's the only state they would take. Okay. Well, what else might you take? You will take Treaty Port, kind of anywhere. Kars is going to be the least obnoxious in terms of appearance, so we will offer them Kars, and not an obligation. And then we will also liberate Iraq, and ask for war reps, and then maybe revoke the claim. Nope, just ask for war reps. Oop. Colonization of Hokkaido is completed, which means now we have another available diplomatic interest, so finally we can put an interest down in here. Let's double check and see if we have, I think we have Quinine. We do not have Quinine, but this will be kind of where we go next, I think. We will start colonizing Sakhalin, as we can. And we would rather that no one else have a colony here. But we have this colony finished, so it gives us a native, kind of interest here. And we will kind of do a little bit of this and set these on auto expand. Looks like Russia's sending 82. I'm expecting it back down. They are fearful with a minus 64. So, I'm expecting it back down. We don't have to give the Cars treaty port. We just get a province for free-ish. Alright, the Free Trade Party collapsed the other parties. It looks like. Let's reform the government. We'll be pretty fine with this. Can we do this? No. So we will take the tick on migration controls, and then we will actually come off of it and do no migration controls if this tick fails. Russia is colonizing Sakhalin. We really don't enjoy that, but it is what it is. So now they will have a native interest in Japan as well, along with us. Alright, we will take the Loyalist event, get a whole bunch of Loyalists, and then we will come off this and go for this. And ooh, does that feel good. Extra Loyalists. Now, they are big sad, because we conquered them here. Let's switch our view. So what we will do is we'll add an iron mine, we'll click it on auto expand, we'll get the logging camps on hardwood and auto expand. And so that'll auto expand pretty comfortably. You have a port set up. And we get a little bit more guys. Now, we have quite a bit of infamy from this war. So we will just decay on that and sit comfortably. And I guess we're just like expanding slowly in Anatolia to build up our strength as a kind of strategy here. Because we keep getting bricked every time we try and declare war in Arabia. Even though our primary intention is the war in Arabia. So it's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is as well. We could also lower taxes a little bit here. I think this is next time we get in the positive, we're gonna lower taxes. Is gonna be the plan. But for now, it's sit tight time as we look upon the beautiful expanding Syrian Empire. Conquering Arabia always feels so good when you take these two, because it just like map paints a ton, but these provinces are also like pretty useless. We're going to actually, we want to provoke a revolution in Mapuche or a native uprising, so we will colonize here as well, because the more things you have colonizing in a single like state or a country, the more likely a native uprising is to happen. And we get this Patagonian land. We're going to put a port here. And then we're just going to leave that for now. We want the port there so we don't forget. Looks like Russia is coming in strong. Generally speaking, whoever's market you join, when you as the player join a market, they become quite powerful. And so maybe we have to... So we could damage relations with the understanding that eventually it's going to boot us from the relation. Of course, then we would not have a trade agreement with them when we get kicked out. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword being in their market in some sense. But we are... The biggest reason is for the migration, but we're currently not benefiting from that, really. We are hoping to in the near future here, though. Our temporary transfer has decreased significantly. I guess because the profitability of our buildings has gone down, or an import route has changed or something to this effect. Always a bit uncomfortable when this happens. I'm going to switch all these over to bone china. It seems to be more profitable. And I think that we have decayed a little bit here, so that we can try and start like vassalizing out here. Netherlands sides. We could probably fight the Netherlands. I do think I actually want a level 10 navy, though, before I try and land over there, because we were having trouble. Actually, no, probably can land there. But I guess I do want to put up the navy a little bit in the queue. And be trending towards a level 10 navy. But we will... So we can vassalize Kutai or we can conquer Kutai. And it's a matter of how much infamy we want to incur. I think we're going to have a hard time finding wars that are useful because of our sizing. So we could just go for the conquer state, which also would allow us to create a lot of dies. And we would have Bahrain and Argentina on our side. We would not go over 25, which is the goal. So let's go for Conquer Kutai. And also, I think I said we could build dyes here, but this is a big reason for wanting it, that we could make some dye plantations. And if we just get a horrific... Who can we sway? We could sway Spain. So maybe we try swaying Spain? Dutch East Indies or someone? Yeah. Dutch East Indies is an annoying one. So let's see if we can offer an obligation to Spain. This is a fine thing. We'll take this, because we actually, migration attraction doesn't do anything for us right now. Netherlands sides with Kutai as well. But I think if we get Spain, we'll be significantly better. Oop, Dutch East Indies must have bailed on them. So they should be fearful now. With Spain in the mix. Alright, we'll acquiesce to the demands. We really want no migration. Tie backs down, giving us the province. Hell yeah, brother. We do have ports here. I hate the AI for the way they do that. We'll auto-expand the dies. We know obligation to Spain, but they can't really do much with it against us, so this is fine. Oop, the trade unions are no longer so happy with us. Unfortunate. That might be what the dip in our economy is coming from. We will try and pass a law that they like soon enough, I think. We'll declare neutrality here. And declare neutrality here. So we stop getting these declare neutrality things. I think we'll just put establish colony down here just so we don't forget. We get a little colony down here. Good old United States-Mexico war. Texas is somehow still free, so that's a thing. Really want this no migration controls. Let's see, we have a bit of infamy now. We are decaying. If we wanted to generate less, we could have just vassalized Kutai. We could actually just vassalize Buligan. Kind of the same logic. Russia might side with us on our side. Our obligation to France expired, which is good because now we can kind of mess around in Arabia a little bit more. We're not going to do this play because we can't afford the infamy. So maybe we really should have just puppeted here down in Kutai, but I really wanted to have control of building the dies up ourselves. So that's why I did it like that. We are going to have to turn down construction or something. Yeah, part of it was expanding the military. We could turn down our PMs on our here we want these turned down, and we want to delete whichever barracks is there. That one. But what we can do is we can actually turn down the PMs in our military pretty comfortably, because now that we have this navy, that will maintain our regional power status. And so we can be kind of aggressive about turning this down. Unfortunately, it looks like we'd only save about 5k, so that's not going to cut it. We get no migration controls. I think no migration controls will really solve a lot of our problems. Let's just take a quick look here, and then take a look at the standard of living here. And it is going to drop precipitously from 19, which will make all the wages much cheaper as migration floods in. You notice already 60k migrants. Just very, very quick. And all these should employ. And so now we can focus on expanding in the capital once again, now that we have no migration controls. We still, of course, have a bunch of laws we need to pass. And we are looking for one that the trade unionists like. The trade unions do like us putting in that in. So, you could even go for oligarchy, which, of course, the trade unionists don't like this, but this is something we can do. Now, we'll put in wealth poor laws to make the trade unionists happy. And then we'll add a government admin there. Do we have... We do not have insufficient government admins anywhere. But this will kick them up, and now we get their bonus, which manufacturing throughput is a very nice bonus, because it'll allow all of our guys to sell more goods. Of course, it causes an instant shortage here in the silks. Kind of funny. Oops, forgot that was coming in. So let's try and find a place which has no... So here in Transjordan, we got no industry going on. So what we will do is we will put some boom booms in there. And we will set them to ammonia process. And then we will... I think we wanted some society tech. What did we want? I'm going to click modern... Oh, we wanted Quinine. That's what it was. And then, will this get solved by that, or do we need to delete construction centers? We might need to delete construction centers. We're going to start off just deleting one in the capital. I don't really care if they get devastation. We can't afford the expenses. This should also be creeping up as stuff gets more profitable as a result of the migration. Let's take a look at the population here. The population's gone up like 100k in just like a minute or whatever. You know, pretty strong attraction. And you notice this has gone down from... Oh no, wait, this is still 19.1. Oh, it should be going down. We want it to go down because we want them to fully employ. Now, what are you running shortages of, my guys? Steel. Well, we can swap this off of... We can swap that over to cannons. But this is not even fully employed. We can also up this. Guess we didn't need to kick that to the front of the queue. We can put it in the back. Maybe auto-expanding too much with all the livestock branches, but I do think it's kind of nice to have a little bit in the auto-construction queue. Let's see, what's really profitable here is clothes and glass, and we have another place making furniture. So we will expand that for the economies of scale bonus. Although everything is starting to sort its way out. And we should be siphoning off pops from Russia now. Standard of living is creeping up. They're at 11.2, we're at 12.9 for our average. Oops. Poor laws will also be nice here. I just... So deleting construction won't actually do anything now. Because the investment pool is, oh, it's not, it can't spend on the livestock. This is fine. Because it'll overspend on the other stuff. We can switch to baking powders as well. Kind of a big one. You guys really become unhappy with us? Man, that's unfortunate. I think that we are... no, we're pretty level on this stuff. Is there a way to make us more legitimate? Not really. We really want the Liberal Party to start winning some elections, but... Well, I think that we don't want to alienate the Intelligentsias, so we're going to take the minus 20% enactment chance and then come off with raising concerns. Well, they're already super mad at us. So we'll just make them a little madder. They won't be off of being mad for a while now. I'm going to come off this. And do private health insurance. Don't really think that that's going to do too much right now. Really want to be able to put... So, I think we switched to wealth voting, because this will empower the intelligentsia a lot. And also, if I'm not mistaken, more legitimacy comes from the votes. Yeah, we're going to switch to wealth voting. I think this will be easier to get the people we want to empower with wealth voting. And the Industrialists are pretty happy with it. And it also does unlock Intelligentsia's bonus, which is the 25% migration attraction, which is quite strong. Hopefully the Intelligentsia after this become quite even stronger, and we can start getting 50% migration attraction, and we really drink Russia's milkshake and siphon off a lot of pops from them, hopefully. Because right now our population's pretty flat, with the exception of when we conquer a state, and so this will kind of help out with that. And, you know, we'll come along quite well. And we should become a lot more profitable in things. I do not want to delete more construction, because I hate doing that. And our profitability has like been kind of volatile and kind of down. I think we will make a little bit of a recovery in that regard. So I don't want to prematurely. I guess I will... It's already in the queue, but we'll kick it to the bottom because it's not even remotely profitable anymore. I went from running a shortage of steel to it not being profitable, so Russia's doing something weird with trade routes to make this happen. We can take a look what's expensive in our market, what's cheap in our market, and try and import and export accordingly. Boom booms are really cheap, so let's turn on nitroglycerin, or let's start turning on nitroglycerin. We will turn it on, I guess, in the lead mines right now. Which will cause the places the boom booms to employ, because currently I'm guessing they're not very well employed. And then we will turn on in someplace much bigger. Let's just turn on in one of the coal mines. And then take a look at other PMs. Are we paying subsidies? We're subsidizing a little bit, which means we can turn on the rails somewhere. We'll turn on the rails here, which will make transportation more expensive, which makes the rails more profitable, which we pay less in subsidies then. Right, because that is what we're subsidizing. Yeah. We can go for the extra tech if we... See, what do we need for the Arts Academy event? Oh well, we'll just put that down. Go on auto expand. still encountering a lot of pain here. A lot of it is government wages. A lot of it is becoming interest. We need to be taking more money in. The industrialists are happy with us, so we are getting the capitalist transfer, which is good. Oh boy. I think we could afford this hit. Unfortunate. Alright, we are going to have to wind down construction a little bit more. Kind of paying a lot for these naval bases is one thing. Construction goods, well, let's see if we can make them cheaper. We're paying a lot for iron right now, right? So, let's go into our buildings. Oop, we don't want to do that. And we can turn on the boom booms for them, or start to. And turn off the boom booms for them. And then add iron everywhere in the queue. And then make sure we have it in every place that can build it. Which we don't. And then we will need the port for Sakhalin for that iron mine. We'll put it at the front of the queue. We'll put the iron mine on auto expand. And we will try and import iron to the market, I think. Huge shortage on the rails. They're still not profitable. Well, we will turn off using rails on this. Because of that. And then just try to solve these problems, man. How profitable are you? Not very. So I think we want to try and export fertilizer, import boom booms. If we can. Okay, exporting to Xing. The fertilizer. And then, sorry, not import boom booms, but import iron. Can't we make the iron cheap? We can't, really. Unfortunate. Are we even... China's importing from us. That sucks. Not ideal, not what we want. We want to kind of depress the price of that, but it looks like our deficit is starting to come down a little bit. Deleting that construction center helped. Revenue is coming up. We are taking in a little bit more from tariffs. Gold's been discovered in Hokkaido, so that's nice. Health voting tick is going to be kind of a big deal. We're going to take this. It's only while it's being enacted, and then we're going to stop trying to enact it. And we are going to perhaps go to census suffrage instead. I'm going to take a pause and take a look at what laws we can pass. I think we're going to go to census suffrage instead. Because this will hopefully make it so we can get the Liberal Party to win an election. The landowners will radicalize, but I think I'm going to call it an episode here. So, we got, you know, we passed migration open borders, which should be making it so that our standard of living looks a little bit more level around all of our country, which of course is going to, the heat map's going to be strongest here. But as people move around, employment, it becomes a little bit easier. We are having an easier time employing here. We've fixed like the qualifications problems as the standard of living has come up. We've also very importantly joined Russia's market, and we are trying to get a large difference between our standard of living so we can siphon off a ton of pops. We're not siphoning off a lot right now, but this is going to make a large difference in the times to come. This is the main advantage of being in their market. We are noticing some disadvantages, like we cannot annex our subjects, but this is not a big deal. We are just still looking to unify all of Arabia, but we are, again, still getting bricked by the fact that everyone and their mother has an interest in this region. And until that starts coming down a bit, it's going to be very volatile, and we are going to save before we start play. Like, we had Russia joining against us, even though they don't have a reason to want to join against us. And maybe we just keep taking honking chomps out of the Ottoman Empire, you know, as a means of kind of adding to our power and giving us more resources and such. Really want to release Iraq. Iraq is going to be all for these states, and then puppet Iraq is kind of what we would look to do, but I guess we could start. So the thing is if we declare war to conquer these states, the war will be in, you know, the Arabia strategic region, which is what we are, why we are expanding in Anatolia, is to avoid declaring a war here, because it's highly volatile in terms of who joins and all this type of stuff, and we're just looking to avoid that volatility. And so, yeah, this is the way it's going for now. I guess maybe the next area we declare an interest is in North Africa. We actually can declare an interest. And we declare it actually in Egypt, because I think we can get a war off in Egypt. This is a little down the road. We will not declare it in Egypt, but this is, you know, near-ish future. Egypt, you know, taking, I don't know, fighting Egypt and puppeting them at some point is something we definitely want to do, because I think they all get incorporated when we form Arabia. But for now, as far as, you know, where we can put a useful place, I guess maybe here, and maybe we go after Zulu or something like this. Or we try and get into the Congo through here. Would also be useful. But Transvaal has a lot of resources, so it's generally a good state to go after. We can maybe just do that. For now, probably not going to use that interest. But anyways, hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm stuff, and have a good day.